white hardtop and white soft.
Finally got a bucket list car. I've always wanted a Plymouth Prowler. I always thought they looked fantastic, and I was able to pick one up last week and in exactly the color that I wanted. Most of the ones that I've seen are purple, which that's great. I think Prince did a photo shoot with his purple Prowler back in the day, and I think when they first came out in 1999. This is a 2001 and very low miles, 5,437 miles. So essentially it's brand new. People complain about the way they drive, and it's stiff, yes. It does have independent suspension, which is great, and the handling is quite nice. It reminds me very much of my 1966 Corvette. It rode a little bit rough, and it squeaked and rattled a little bit. This one's a little bit quieter than that old car, but I think it drives great. I've had a lot of fun driving this thing around. It's the first day I've been able to get it out because of the rain. And acceleration is not super. It's a V6. I think that it would have been really difficult to put a V8 in this car because of just how it's built. It is a transaxle, which is pretty uncommon for rear-wheel drive cars. The only cars that are really getting that kind of treatment are Ferraris, Aston Martins, and even Corvettes. It does have a nice rumble to the exhaust, and it's fast enough. This is not a race car. It's a car that you cruise in. Gauge cluster being in the center is a little bit odd. Typically the speedometer's over here, but the important thing is it's got your RPMs right in the middle, which is exactly like my 911 Porsche. They put that right up front and center so you don't over-rev the car. Not much danger of that, I don't think, with this automatic transmission. Most of the parts inside of the car are from the Chrysler parts bin, for sure. I think this came out of a minivan. I've read that the inside door latch came from a Viper. Steering wheel came from some kind of minivan. The radio as well. It's in a lot of the different products. But you know what? That was smart. I mean, they wanted to save costs, and they've done it by using all of those parts that are readily available. It's not a one-off. Interior-wise, it's pretty quiet in here. I've got the top up right now, and it's pretty quiet. It's not a very windy day, and it's not as quiet as my 911. The 911 visibility is not like your normal car, but it is a hot rod, and actually, if you put down the front visor, you cover the whole windshield. So visibility is a little bit tough, and because you're sitting down so low and the doors are so high and the windows are small, so looking out, and the mirrors are very small too, but it is a hot rod. It's not a regular passenger car. You wouldn't use this as an everyday driver. This is a cruise to the park, cruise through the center of town real slow, and let everybody look, and they will. Prowlers originally came with a 3.5-liter V6 with 215 horsepower, and they upped that, knowing that was pretty weak. So the powertrain, while not a V8, they've upped it to 253 horsepower with 225 foot-pounds of torque, which will move it down the road and hit 60 in about 6 seconds, which isn't bad, and it's actually a better power-to-weight ratio than a BMW 340i. And I really think that this car handles way better than what you might think. And even with the 20s in the back and the 17s in the front, it's stiff, but it's predictable. I mean, I don't feel like I'm going to get in trouble. The brakes are pretty good. They're not ABS, which is, sort of odd for a car of this era. You would think that they would have dropped ABS on it at least, but they didn't. The only thing I wouldn't do is try to drag race any real muscle cars. You are going to get stomped. Here's a little walk around of the Prowler. That paint is just gorgeous, and the pinstriping that I think is factory. I've talked to a bunch of people and they said that they did actually do flames and pinstripe at the factory, and this is really subtly done. It looks fantastic, and it actually sort of changes color as you move around. I'm not sure that the camera can pick it up, but it looks great. And that's pretty subtle there too. I don't know if you can actually see that, but pretty cool. Very clean, 20-inch wheels in the back. Soft top in perfect condition. It only has 5,000 miles on it, so I mean it's practically brand new. And this one has the front bumper delete, which was, a lot of people hated the front bumpers, and they don't look the best, but they did replace them with this. It's color matched turn signal, which is about $800 to $1,000, I hear. Fantastic. And these cars are really pretty nicely done on the inside. You know, it's not the best, but it's okay. I mean, I love the interior of this car. Nice mats, nice leather seats. They're pretty comfortable. The top release button is back there. That little yellow button releases the top. Little Prowler logo there. Kind of cool. Got stereo controls on the back side of the steering wheel, which is neat. RPMs in the center. Voltmeter, oil gauge, speedometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge. Has a full-size glove box. Stereo is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. And the auto shifter there. Got the 6-disc CD changer behind the seat there. One thing about this, the car door doesn't open very far. The detent is pretty narrow, so to get in, it's pretty narrow. You're not going to kick this way out. I'm not sure why they did that. But this is a great car. I really like it. It is what it is. If I want to go fast and have really super handling, I'll drive my 911. And to pop the hood, latch right there. And then should be a long latch there. .3.5 liter 24 valve V6 with a little Prowler cat right there. The car really does look brand new. I don't think this thing has ever been driven in the rain. It looks every bit of new. Taking a look at the brakes and suspension components. Not a mark anywhere. It's like off of the showroom. It's really very nice. Didn't notice this really subtle pinstriping here all the way down and on the bottom here. The flames just look great. All right, going to show you how to open or put down the top. Actually, little yellow button back there pops everything. And you've got to undo the latches here on both sides, and then pop this lever. Fold that up. Now this is what they call a trunk. And granted, there's not much space in there. These are the tie downs for the top when you put it down to keep it from moving around so much. Put it down to keep it from moving around so much. So not a lot of space. You're not going to get a lot of stuff back there. But then again, you're probably not going to travel with this much. So, in short, I think that this car is really nice, and I like it. It looks great. It drives adequately. It brakes adequately. If you go in understanding, knowing what it is, it's not a race car, it's not a Porsche, it's not a Corvette, it's not a Dodge Viper, it's a Prowler. It's a drive around, drop the top, turn the music up, cruise slow, cruise a little bit faster, and it has all the creature comforts of a modern automobile, and it's not a hot rod. So I think that it probably is a pretty good value right now. The prices on these cars are moving pretty fast upward, and to find a nice clean one with low mileage is a bonus.